To the beat home. To the beat home. To the beat home. To the beat home.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's 7 minutes past the hour on this 30th day of October. It is Turn Up Thursday, turn down for what? And you are tuned in to hashtag Truth Be Told JD Live, your early morning get up, wake up. Yo, get it going, get it happening, your inspiration, motivation, information in the morning with conversation that promotes elevation. Good morning to you. Time to get up, wake up. That's how you get your morning started. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, at the JDMS, on YouTube, at 100BLK Media. Yours truly, Joe Dupree in the building on this Turn Up Thursday, turn down for what? Tomorrow we will not be broadcasting. Tomorrow I will be on the road. I was thinking about doing the road show live from Little Rock, Arkansas, but we're going to be on our way to Little Rock because the Southern University Jaguars will be taking on the Golden Lions of UAPB. And let me say this, when it comes down to logos of football teams in the SWAC, I still believe that UAPB has the coldest logo of them all because they literally spell out the school in the mane of the lion. It's just, you got to go look at it. There's some non-melanated guys out there who are trying to look at these iconic logos from HBCUs and call them out. You know, everybody know where everybody's somebody. If anybody know one thing, they're going to know. I had one guy say, man, when did Green Bay change their colors? That's not Green Bay, that's Grambling. Big ups to the late, great Eddie Robinson. So good morning, family. How you doing on this morning? Day 30. Today is the 30th. Today is day 30 of the government shutdown. The government is still closed. The government is still closed. Folks at the state levels now, like in my state, I live in the state of Louisiana, are doing what they need to do to ensure temporarily that some government benefits, such as SNAP benefits, to keep people fed, is still going. Now, understand, this is just a temporary fix because they can't keep doing this. They can't maintain it. Let me try to educate y'all for a little minute, those who want to learn. That's why when you have people who will come on and try to tell you about how you shouldn't vote for certain things like certain taxes, the quality of life of any city of any municipality is based on the tax base of that community. That's why most retirement communities have good roads, good schools, good infrastructure, have good everything, because those folks who have disposable incomes and who are being taxed, be it property tax, be it sales tax, be it some type of tax, those taxes, when used correctly, key word, used correctly, should make the quality of life of said community the taxes come from great. When they are appropriated correctly, when taxes are used correctly, when collected, you shouldn't have to worry about bad roads. That shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't have to worry about bad schools. That shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't have to worry about bad water, because the infrastructure should be great. But once again, if you don't have the tax base, that's why understand many underprivileged and poor communities do so badly. They already got people who barely making it. So those folks are literally barely making it with what they got to do what they need to do to get what they need to get. And because they're barely making it, there is no tax base, because very few dollars of their income goes toward taxes. They're trying to survive. Remember the theme from Good Time, scratching and surviving? Many Black and brown communities, many rural communities, many underprivileged communities, and all underprivileged communities are Black and brown, scratching and surviving. Just like in the Good Time. A lot of them lately, because of the government shutdown, been hanging in a child line. These ain't good times. I don't know how long this government shutdown is going to go on. I can't make that prediction. Some people have asked me, how long do I think it's going to last? Unfortunately, because I always expect the best but prepare for the worst, I don't think it's going to be over with until next year. And that's going to be bad. It's going to be bad that we'll literally go through the holiday season with a government shutdown, that we go through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the New Year with the government being shut down. Think about it. 13 minutes. 13 minutes past the hour on this Turn Up Thursday, Turn Down for What. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. AD Live, your early morning get up, wake up, wake up. Your 1 hour of power, your shot in the arm, Monday through Friday, as we look at what's really going on. And listen, yesterday, and my heart is still being moved yesterday, because I realized something yesterday I haven't realized in my 8 years of doing what I do. Senseless gun violence affects family. Senseless gun violence take away loved ones far too soon. Good morning, Brother Barnett. Senseless gun violence. You know, there are folks out there who know. I understand the rules of the street. I understand no snitching. At least that's what y'all say. But senseless gun violence destroys family. Too many of our Black and brown families have been destroyed by senseless gun violence, by individuals who could not find a way to resolve a dispute other than pulling out a gun, squeezing the trigger, and taking somebody's life because they did not like them, did not agree with them, or was angry at them about something. And that's sad. That's sad. Then let's talk about the responsibility of law enforcement and the system that brings justice to the family that lost a loved one. Police are supposed to be a deterrent that these things don't happen, but when these things do happen, the police and the investigators are supposed to bring swift resolution, and the individual who did said crime to justice for the family, to at least say they caught the one that did this to our loved one. You'll never be fully restored. Your loved one can never come back. But at least you got the individual, the perpetrator who did this, at least you have him in custody, he, she, or them in custody. For now, they can go through the process of the system, that justice can be, at least from the standpoint of us holding you accountable for what you did, whatever the statutes of the law are, that we feel that there is at least not a killer walking around the streets who killed our loved one and they just walking free. Our loved one's in the graveyard, you walking around free. That's why they say, see something, say something. Because imagine if your mother, your daughter, your auntie, your dad, your uncle, your nephew, your brother, or your sister was murdered in cold blood, and nobody knew who murdered them. Every day you wake up wanting to speak to said individual, but said individual is gone because they were murdered due to senseless gun violence. And on top of that, not only is your loved one not here anymore, the individual who murdered them, nobody seems to know who it is, or nobody will say. That's a living hell. That is literally living in hell every day. That you wake up not only not having your loved one, but not having the solace of knowing even who did it to your young little loved one. And did that individual meet the system of justice, or is that person in prison? Has that person been convicted? Your loved one just gone. That's a horrible feeling. I yesterday witnessed a mother whose daughter succumbed through her transition through senseless gun violence. And over a year and a half later, that mother is still suffering, not knowing that the individual who killed her daughter, who it is, have they been captured? Have they been put before the court system? Because that person is still walking around freely. Family, I understand that we live in a country where the Second Amendment and guns are prevalent. You know, I heard a conservative person who's running for, I believe he's running for, got the guy's name, and that's crazy. So one of the representatives of Louisiana, but this guy said, I am a Second Amendment gun-loving evangelical conservative Christian. I mean, election season's coming up, family. Y'all have to pay attention to who y'all put in office. And start asking yourself this question. Does this person, once I elect them, because right now the government is closed, who's not closed from the point of who's getting their check. Let's ask who's getting their check during this government shutdown. I tell you who's getting their check. The people who doing the renovation on the White House right now. Because as you know, because some of you have worked in construction, you're not tearing stuff down and building stuff up unless you're getting paid. Normally, you either get paid daily or weekly when you're in that profession. So the people who are right now doing the $300+ million renovation on the White House, they're getting paid while the government is shut down and government workers are not getting paid. The man sitting in the seat of the presidency, he ain't missed a check. Be exact, he's in China right now trying to negotiate. It's such a great big deal because, I put tariffs on these folks. And listen, folks, a tariff is a tax. And if you want to know the philosophy of the current sitting president, to those who consider themselves true red conservatives, Ronald Reagan conservatives, listen to the speech that Ronald Reagan gave about tariffs. He gave a speech about tariffs. Why don't you go Google it and listen to it and understand that what he says totally contradicts what the man sitting in the White House is doing right now. And in the midst of all of this, we're being not distracted, but some of us who this is affecting us, but it's not affecting us as hard as others. Because everybody is being affected by this government shutdown in one way or the other. I have to be honest with you. I have to be honest with you. No, Brother Eddie, I disagree with that. You say he was a billionaire before the presidency. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. He wasn't. He may have told you he was a billionaire, but no, he wasn't. Those are the facts. The billionaire status, you got to understand what the numbers look like. And no, he wasn't a billionaire. He may have been a millionaire, but he wasn't a billionaire. And I'm curious. The World Series is going on right now. And last night I did say, sitting down watching some of the World Series, though I didn't watch all of it, I said, man, the Toronto Blue Jays, I really love their uniforms. Their uniforms look good. And they're in the lead now because everybody had assumed that the Dodgers were just going to run through them like a hot knife and butter, and they didn't. Shohei Ohtani has not ran through them like a hot knife through butter. No, let me tell you something. Them Blue Jays came to play some ball. It looked like they may be taking that World Series trophy back to Canada, to Toronto. I love Toronto. That's one city I do very much love. So the World Series is going on. Football is going on. To be exact, I think they have a word for it. The last few days, every sport is literally going on. Every professional sport is going on. There's a certain length of time, I think, into October, in November, October, everything is going on. So Eddie said, okay, let me see what you said, Eddie. Let's talk about people who get in politics and become millionaires, multi-millionaires. A lot of folks do that. A lot of folks come into politics millionaire status or close to millionaire status, and politics pushes them over to millionaire status. Be exact, most folks get into that bracket once they get into politics, especially when it's at the federal level. A lot of folks do that on both sides, Republican, Democrat, Independent. It is the business of politics. There is a business side of being a politician. And I just asked the question, and I say it calmly, Eddie, and I'm not trying to be ugly. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent. I care less who you are. Are the people that you are electing to office at times like this, why are they not saying, I forfeit my pay? And let me ask that question. Why have we not seen Republicans, Democrats, Independents, those who are in the halls of Congress, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, why haven't they said, since nobody's getting paid in the federal government, we refuse to get paid either? We don't want our checks. We ask yourself that question, because to me, it should be a level of nobility of nobility amongst the, because once again, we the people put these people in office. So let's say that you were a TSA worker right now, and you were a proud American TSA worker, because everybody who works for the TSA are not proud Americans. But let's say that you could wake up every morning and say the following: you know, I'm a proud American. I voted, and I voted for whoever. Let's say you did vote for Trump. How you feel right now? That you working, not getting paid, or you're not working at all. You may be furloughed. How would you feel that you voted for Trump? You voted for the Trump ideas. You one of them people walking around saying, let's make America, is America great now? Now that you are not getting paid, now that you may be furloughed, do you feel like America is great now? And better yet, let me ask the question I always ask. When anybody, including Eddie Barnett, Douglas Guidry, you can be conservative, hold it. When anybody, I don't care who you are, I don't care what position you hold. When you tell me you want to make America great again, what time period are we talking about? I need to know a date. I need to know a month and a year. Y'all say y'all want to make America great. I want to know the month and the year. That's all I want to know. I want to know what month and what year do you want to go back to where you believe that America was great? And you may ask yourself, why do I want to know this? I want to know this because I want to know where me and my people, black and brown people, were at the time that you feel like America was great. "28 minutes past the hour. Good morning, family. Good morning, Noble. I see you, my brother. To the east, my brothers. And I just mean, family, we've got to, in my humble opinion, we got to pay more attention. And we're not paying enough attention. The government is still shut down. And it ceases to amaze me when folks understand how what they do to the least of them is now tied to the perception of polling and how folks look at it. I am amazed how all of a sudden the governor of the great state of Louisiana that I live in, Governor Jeff Landry, I need this common sense legislating throughout the year. Not just when we're in crisis. Not just when you sit down in a room and some folks say, hey, bro, your political life is on the line, depending on what decisions you make coming down to these SNAP benefits, because many of these state governments now have to say what the federal government won't do, will do. You know, it's so good. Africans are trying hard to. Well, everybody's trying to come to America, Eddie. Everybody always have. This is a country of immigrants. This country, the only people who are native to this land are the Native Americans, and we already know what happened to them. We done had two good old holidays. Columbus Day, because some folks don't call it Indigenous People Day. They still call it Columbus Day. Google what Columbus did. We're about to celebrate Thanksgiving and the Pilgrims. Google what the Pilgrims did, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And ask yourself if you were a Native American, which it ceases to amaze me how all of a sudden, when there is government incentives and government funding and government grants and government things that kind of give you an edge over folks, how all of a sudden folks will raise their hand and say, you know what, I got about 1%, 2% blood in me that is Native American. Them my people. That is always the thing that tickles me the most. When I see descendants of slave owners all of a sudden want to embrace a 1 or 2% portion of their bloodline, which is Native American, not because they feel that the plight of the Native American is something they can talk about, but because they know there are incentives connected to saying that I am a part of that ethnic group financially that can give me the edge on other folks. Just sad to me. Just sad to me. And overnight, while we're sitting around not paying attention, your president tells the Pentagon to start testing nuclear weapons. There's two things we're really not paying attention to. Have you not noticed that in every negotiation that President Trump goes in, he's putting on the table mineral rights, rare mineral rights? Ukraine, Russia. Hey, look, I can resolve this, but there's got to be some concession on the rare mineral rights. This thing he just did with Xi Jinping. I hope I said it right. If I didn't, forgive me, president of China. But the president of China, they just did something with rare mineral rights. While we over here, why not paying attention, it seems to be everywhere Trump goes into, President Trump, let me not disrespect his position or his title. Everywhere President Trump goes into, be it the Middle East, be it Russia, be it Ukraine, be it China, be it Venezuela, be it wherever he wants to go, it's always rare mineral rights on the table. We got to start paying attention. And listen, Brother Eddie said he had a serious question. Of course, he was going to pro President Obama in there. So let's see what the serious question is. He said, serious question. Remember when Obama scolded black men for not voting for Kamala Harris? I don't know, was that a scolding, but okay, your opinion. That's what the pundit said. I don't have a problem with another man telling me if I'm right and wrong. It ceases to amaze me how we can't tell each other something without it being either a scolding or us trying to tell us something in a forceful manner. We still live in a society where white men were slave masters over us, and then we got the audacity to be mad at what a black man said to us, in my opinion. I digress. Let me continue to read. He said, it seems like black men are intimidated by a sister. Most are. And then most, Brother Eddie, try to base it on Bible about where a woman should be her place by biblical standards. Most are. So those are my opinions. That's how I see it. Why is he now pushing against the first potential? I don't know. I don't know. I can't speak on something I really don't know about. I don't know. I haven't really been watching former President Obama because 8 years of him being president was looking nothing like it is 8 years of now Donald Trump being president. That's my humble opinion. My humble opinion, if you wanted right now, if I took a straw poll, give me 8 years of Trump, 8 years of Obama, guess who I'm saying all day long? Give me 8 years of Obama. I can tell you my life was much better. My family's life was much better. My friend's life was much better. To me going to work, life period was much better under 8 years of Obama than it was under 8 years of Trump. Now, I ain't got my full 8 years of Trump in yet. I can only tell you about how it feels to be under 5 years of Trump. And 5 years of Trump has been chaotic for me. For me, it may have been good for you. And if so, let me do that. And let me give you a round of applause. But most of the people I know and most of the people that I deal with had 8 years of better life under President Barack Obama than they have these 5 years of life under Donald J. Trump, President Donald J. Trump. I do not want to take anybody's title away. So right now, if I did a poll, if I said 5 years to 5 years, give me 5 years with Obama, give me 5 years with Trump. Who do you feel like you were doing better? Who do you feel like who do you feel like life was better under? For me, not because he was a black man, it has absolutely nothing to do with that. To be exact, I'll be very honest with you. Let me take Barack Obama off the table. I did have 8 years under Bill Clinton. If you give me 8 years under Bill Clinton and give me 8 years under Donald Trump, give me Bill. Let me give you one more. I remember, if I'm correct, 8 years under Bush. Give me 8 years under Bush, 8 years under Trump. Oh, give me Bush any day of the week. That's me. That's me. You, sir, might be the happiest man on the planet with Donald Trump. I'm just saying. If I ask most folks, not about how they feel, but how they are living, how their pocketbook, how their money was flowing, how work was going, how they felt the mental strain of everyday life because of the news cycle and what was going on in the news cycle. Oh, baby, let me tell you something. I personally believe, like, give me 8 years of a lot of presidents over Donald Trump. Though I don't have a full 8 to judge Trump on yet. I only got about 5 years. I'm saying that's me. Once again, not trying to be ugly. I'm not trying to be anti-Trump. I'm just trying to give you facts from my point of view. I'm not trying to throw out all these, as you notice, I didn't throw out all these Democratic names. I had 8 years under Reagan. I'm a Reagan baby. I lived during Reagan's time. Give me Ronald Reagan. 8 years. I think we were doing much better 8 years under Reagan than we were 8 years under Trump. I was under Bush, both Bushes. Okay. I was under Clinton. I was under Obama. Give me them years. There's something about these Trump years that are so chaotic to me. The first term was chaotic. This term seems to be chaotic to me. Now, you might be one of them folks that believe that Trump's done came in and he's making America great again. Please take me back to the month and the year that you believe America was great, and what is Trump doing to take us back there? Can you articulate that for me? Because a tariff is a tax. And one of the greatest Republicans I believe that ever served as president, Ronald Reagan, had a whole different philosophy about tariffs and tax than the present president does. I'm just saying we need to pay attention, family. Because right now, guess who is getting paid? Guess who's getting paid? The White House and the White House staff is still getting paid during the government shutdown. Whoever we the people, voted into Congress, your representative that is sitting right now in Washington, D.C., didn't miss a check. Didn't miss the check. And mind you, I have to look into some things because I'm not going to. I always see when people want to take what I call, no offense. I'm not here to win an argument. I'm here just to state my fact. I'm not here to win an argument. Guess what? If right now I was on SNAP benefits and I had been informed that my SNAP benefits were going to be cut, I will be probably talking totally different than an individual who's not on SNAP benefits. I'm not on SNAP benefits. But guess what? I am concerned about those who are. And I'm concerned about those who are on these benefits fraudulently as much as I am those who are legitimately on these type of benefits, because it is the fraudulent ones that make it bad for those who really need it. And I understand you got your Wikipedia sources. I'm not Googling a Wikipedia. I'll look at that later, Brother Eddie, because just like CK, I'll be honest with you, I had heard the name, but I had paid it absolutely no attention until he got killed. And the only reason I paid attention then to CK when he got killed was because they were blaming black and brown folks for him dying. They were putting our institutions on lockdown. They weren't putting LSU and Alabama and UL, they weren't putting them institutions on lockdown. They were putting our black and brown institutions on lockdown over something we had absolutely nothing to do with, which once again made me realize that you can accuse a black man of whistling at a white woman and brutally beat him, kill him, hang him, and burn him, and everybody good with it, when it may not have ever happened, because all you got to do is blame the black guy. And see, that philosophy even kind of trickled over into politics, because it ceases to amaze me how you don't hold, and most folks won't hold Donald Trump accountable for any of his wrongdoing, but let Barack Obama say or do one thing that you don't agree with, or you morally, or you legally, whatever. Because Barack Obama has put in some legislation, have did some things I don't agree with, but that doesn't make him all of a sudden the horrible black guy. Well, there's a horrible black guy. No, he's just the president that made some bad decisions, in my opinion. And if I literally told you the bad decisions between Barack Obama and Donald Trump, trust me, Trump's got more marks by his name than Barack Obama will ever have, in my opinion, when it comes down to bad decisions as a president, of doing things that did not benefit me as a constituent of his presidency. I'm just saying. That's me. But unfortunately, we're in a culture of, guess what? If it's black, stay back. If it's brown, stick around. But if it's white, it's all right. It's white, it's all right. As Uncle Ruckus say, I'm in Ronald Reagan heaven. Look at this. Everything around me is white. It's so beautiful there. You know, for years, all of us, including President Company, we were whitewashed to white Jesus, because white is right. Black makes you want to stay back. That's what they told you, which is furthest from the truth. See, when you know more and you know better, you do better. 43 minutes past the hour, and I was remiss today. Excuse my voice. I was remiss today to remind my brothers and sisters who listen to this podcast that we need to continually pray for those who were affected by Hurricane Melissa and still are being affected by Hurricane Melissa, especially our black and brown brothers and the people, be they black, brown, green, blue, purple, with antennas on their head, including those who are white, the people who have been affected by this storm in the country of Jamaica. Cuba was affected pretty bad also. So the human in me says, be in prayer for the people of Jamaica, the people of Cuba, regardless of the human beings that live in these regions that were affected by this storm, because it could have been you. Like I said, yesterday, I experienced the gut-wrenching, bone-chilling reality of gun violence. As I saw a mother break down and could not even speak when I had spoke to her about speaking to people about just, she couldn't even say, help me bring justice for my daughter and peace to my soul. She couldn't stop crying because the spirit hit her that my baby's gone. The spirit hit her that something very unnatural, and I feel this is the most unnatural thing that could ever happen. A parent buried their child. That should never happen. A child should always be able to say, you know what, my parent lived a good life. But a parent should never have to carry the cross, the burden, or the pain of burying a child. And she, as in many other folks I know, now belong to that exclusive club. And while we're not paying attention, while we're over here having conversations about who was the best president, we still every day, every week, every month, every year, know folks that we have to put our arms around during the holidays, during the time that has been deemed by man, especially men in this country. These holidays we celebrate, be they high holy days or be they man-made holidays, but we still have to put our arms around folks on holidays, knowing that they lost a loved one to senseless gun violence. That we have mothers and fathers who do not live to see their children graduate from college, do not live to see their children make it to manhood or womanhood, and themselves walk in the basking of the ambience of the glory of just being an adult because of senseless gun violence. I saw a mother break down yesterday, and it's still messing with my head because now I have a renewed flame in me that I, in the occupation I'm in, got to do everything I can to bring justice to families like this. And I've got to use the gifts that God has blessed me with to help those who bring these people to justice. And I have to say it, this no snitching rule, come on, man. Come on, woman. It's not just men, it's men and women. Because you'd be surprised as I last night was doing some research and working on a paper, you'd be surprised how now when I turn on social media, I see more women fighting each other on social media than I do men. I see more women fighting. Dude, they got women now that pulling guns out. They popping caps just as much as the men do, especially the younger ones. They in videos with guns talking about come through here if you want to. Take me through there. Take me through there. Come on. Man, I digress. It's 13 minutes to the top of the hour. Yes, prayers for everybody. Prayers for everybody. Thank you, Brother Eddie. Speaking of which, listen, y'all, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Somebody inbox me, Brother Eddie, and say, boy, you and Brother Eddie, y'all, it's the person told me I'm confused. Me and Brother Eddie don't see a lot of things the same, brother. But we're not enemies. We're not mad at each other. We just understand that we have different philosophies. And Brother Eddie, reason I say that is, I'm gonna say it again, family. If you haven't been on Brother Eddie Barnett's page, and Brother Eddie put it in the chat. He does great prayers every day. It's a hey you. I think he says, hey, I don't pay so much attention to the hey you as I listen to the prayers he's praying. And I am thankful that brother prays every morning and he puts it out there publicly. So if you need, just like I do this 1 hour of conversation, not to tell you how to think, not to tell you what to think, but to tell you to begin to think. Brother Eddie goes and prays every day. And he puts it out there. It's a short prayer, but it's a powerful prayer, and it uplifts me every morning because I don't pray like that openly on social media. Thank God that he has the gift of doing that. Now, a lot of folks say, but bro, you write some awesome little prayers. And yeah, I write. Believe it or not, I write and speak more than I talk. School is whipping my tail right now. Pray for me, family. But I also want to give a big ups because, listen, I'm not always, and people are saying, man, you should sometimes go in on these pastors. I don't go in on these pastors. I go in on people who are pulpit pimping. They're not pastors. They're pulpit pimps. There is a difference. Let me say this, though. Pastor Jamal Bryant has asked the church to bring food instead of tithes to help families hit by food stamps and cut by job losses. That is, since some of you pulpit pimps know that will get you click, likes, and shares, I'm always amazed how God will use whoever he wants to use to get to his people, whatever he needs to get to his people. Why don't y'all imitate Pastor Jamal? Y'all can get y'all some click, likes, and shares also. And instead of taking up a collection for church, which I always keep saying, not all, but a lot of these churches are literally unregulated banks. They are banks without the regulation of the FDIC. Why don't you follow in this man's footstep. I know you didn't think of the idea, and I know when y'all don't think of it, y'all don't feel like y'all I just can't. I've got to be the originator. But for once, imitate this man. You don't even got to give him credit. Make people who didn't know that he did it, make them feel like God imparted it. But why don't you, for once, just say we don't need tithes and offering this Sunday? Just imagine if every church in the United States of America for one weekend said, we're going to take every offering, every tithes we bring in, and we're not putting it into the church account. We're going to help the families that have been hit by the loss of SNAP benefits and the job cuts and the job losses due to this government shutdown. What would happen? What would happen? I just want y'all to imagine that for a minute. That one Sunday, just once, I'm not asking for the whole month, because I understand Pastor got a Mercedes, a house note. I understand all that. Pastor and pastorette, because it's just not men pastors, women pastors too. And once again, since some folks done really tried to drill me on how I'm anti-pastor all of a sudden, I'm not. I'm anti-pulpit pimps, be they male or female, and there's a bunch of them out there. So let's get the records. Now, please get in my inbox, call me or come after me. However, those who have been called, appointed, anointed, and the Most High resonates in your life, why don't all of y'all get together for one Sunday and follow this example? Why don't y'all unilaterally come together, since y'all all work for the same man? I can't believe he just talks to each one of y'all differently in some aspects of some things. He doesn't have a corporate talk with his people. I'm curious, because I read this book also. I understand that he has individual conversation, but doesn't he have some corporate things that he kind of just lays on all of y'all at one time? I wish he would corporately. I pray right now in the name of Jesus that he corporately get y'all together for one Sunday, just for one Sunday, to show a mighty move of God. One Sunday, every church in this land, in this country of the United States of America, which are churches that are built, erected, and dedicated to God and Jesus Christ. I wish y'all for one Sunday would say, guess what? Every offering, every tithe, everything we do on this Sunday, it's not going in the church's bank account. We're going to help families that were hit by these food insecurities, by these lack of SNAP benefits, these families who experience these job cuts and these job losses. I wish that would happen. I really wish. I wish that spiritual move would sweep the nation for one Sunday. Because once again, that's my opinion. If you can prove me wrong, please jump in my inbox or call me. But to me, churches are nothing but, most churches, not all, most churches are nothing but banks that are unregulated, who do not have to pay taxes and do not have to go through what normal folks have to go through when it comes down to a financial institution. Churches are financial institutions that are not regulated by the FDIC. I said what I said. So while folks are out there getting ordained and all this, why don't y'all get yourself together? I understand. Some of y'all did it because, let me not even go there, because folks, I swear to God, I'm on my rant. Okay. I just wish all of y'all would get together, because once again, saying this, last time I heard, I don't care who you are, Baptist, Methodist, Catholic, I don't care. Y'all all work for the same boss. You can't tell me, even though I do know he talks to y'all individually, you can't tell me he ain't had a corporate mindset to just say, hey guys, why don't y'all just do this? All right, 5 minutes to the top of the hour. It's just me. I know. Somebody right now about to get in my inbox and I can't stand you. I'm glad you don't like me because I'll be very honest. I'm not here for click, like, and share. You don't see a Cash App running. You don't click on it and see, oh, subscribe to my. No, I don't need you to subscribe to nothing. I need you to use that thing that's behind your eyes and between your ears to make life better, not only for yourself, but for everyone around you. Because if we started working on making life better instead of bitter, it would not only become better for us, but for those around us. And when life is good for everybody around us, ain't nobody complaining, fussing, or fighting. Some will always do. The poor will be among us always. That's what the books say. Wars and rumors of wars will always be on the horizon because no matter how much right you do, there's always people out there bent on doing wrong. But at least for the greater good of the majority are those who seek peace and solace in a place where they feel safe. We could at least have that place for them. 3 minutes to the top of the hour. Man, you would know it. I would just look in the left of my eye, and then I see Deputy Mackey, who I got to. Family, I'm going to close out the show a little differently. I'm going to close it out in the same way I always do. But I want to say this. Let's stop resolving our issues by killing one another. Let's stop resolving our issues by having to go the violent route and unnecessary gun violence. I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what ethnical background you come from. I don't care what age you are. Put the guns down. Put the guns down. Put the gun. Whew. All right, family. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to the top of the hour. Time for me to get up out of here. I will not be broadcasting tomorrow. I will be on the road. I will be on my way to Little Rock, Arkansas. Little Rock, I'm on my way. Pine Bluff, I'm on my way. Golden Lions, the Jaguars are coming. Jaguars have the worst record they've ever had since the conception of football at Southern University. And since we're at the bottom, there's only one way we can go. That's up. That's up. There's only one way that we can go. That's up. So, family, listen, tell a friend to tell a friend. We'll be back Monday if the Lord say the same. The government is still shut down. I pray that it's not shut down when I come back Monday. I pray that the government opens right back up today. Unfortunately, I don't think that that prayer is going to be answered, but I keep praying it until it comes forth. Because you got to stop faking it until you make it. And you got to say it till you see it. Let me say that again. I don't use the word, I'm going to fake it till I make it. No more. But I will speak it until I see it. And I speak right now. Peace, love, prosperity, not only to myself, but to everyone who's connected to me and everyone who listens in or everyone who agrees or disagrees. I want it for everybody. I want everybody to be better today, family, than you were yesterday. And do something today to bless somebody somewhere, some way that there's no earthly way they could ever pay you back. And always, always remember, I got to emphasize this, and I got to come from the bottom of my heart and from where my bone marrow is when I say this. Always remember that there is no secret. That means it ain't somewhere in a vault locked up. You ain't got to belong to an exclusive club. You don't have to belong to a fraternity, a sorority, a social club, or group. There is no secret what God can do. There's no secret. You got to trust, believe. And sometimes you got to trust, believe, and not tell nobody that you're trusting and believing. You got to let go and let God. I say it all the time. You got to help who you can, fix what you can. Everything else, you got to let go and let God. But there is no secret what God can do, what he has done for others. Listen, there have been folks who've been sick, had all the money in the world. It wasn't their money or the doctor that healed them. There have been folks who did not know where their next meal was coming from, but miraculously a meal showed up and they had enough nourishment to make it to the next day, because there is no secret what God can do, what he has done for others. He will and he can. Through the hard times, through the good times, through the bad times, through the ugly times, through the relationship problem time, through the divorce times, through whatever times you're dealing with. Let me say it again. There is no secret what God can do, what he has done for others. Will and he can do for you. Keep the faith. Keep believing. Don't fake it till you make it, but speak it until you see it. I'm up out of here. Peace.